Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to Chesty Malone vlog number
Vlog 12.
12.
Vlog.
We all know you're wrong, so you might as well.
It's a wonderful toy. Vlog.
That's not even how the log song went. You're not even right.
What?
It's log, it's log, it's big, it's heavy, it's wood.
There you go. It's vlog.
Don't listen to
That's
him.
what I said.
Okay, two things happening in today's
Vlog. You wonderful people asked us some questions on Facebook.
Yes.
So thanks for that, and we'll be getting to those in just a second.
But first, we got more mail.
We did.
And I'm very excited about this one.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty cool. I hope. We'll see. Oh man.
Way to be prepared there, Chief.
You sprung it on me. I didn't know.
You didn't know? I said, hey, we're going to unbox this.
All right. Well, here you go, everybody. Ready?
Oh.
It was the wrong thing.
Then we'd complain live on YouTube.
Okay, there. That was berries as usual.
Oh.
Horning in on the action. All right.
Look what we got.
Black metal.
Let me see.
You want to see, Barry? What do you think?
Is it
Pretty
cool?
No.
No.
Barry doesn't.
He doesn't like it. Honestly.
No, sir. Barry doesn't like it.
I said I want to see it.
Yeah, well, I don't care.
This is the figure I was talking about that can have pizza table dates with the Chesty Super 7 if they ever make one.
That's right. That'd be pretty cool. And the Slayer guy and the Motorhead
This
guy.
is pretty cool, gang.
Not bad. Pull it back though. Let me point something out. The thing that it is cool, and I like it. Good job, guys. But you know what annoys me is the shape of his face.
It's short.
It's
right.
oval, and
long.
it should be more like horse face and pointed at the chin. See that? Okay, notice horse face, pointed at chin. Real kind of oval, not horse face, pointed at chin.
You got a point.
So the sculpt, in my opinion, sorry whoever you are, you did a good job. It's cool. You had to imagine the body. I like the Minotaur body.
Look at those bodacious abs.
Yeah, he's really muscular. Hey, well, so is Kronos. So.
Yep.
So yeah, just minor complaint is that the shape of the face is not quite right.
I give it 2 thumbs.
I have to, what, a 2? Okay. I have to give it 1.5, so...
That's your half?
Just because of that. I mean, it's cool. But I actually think the agnostic front guy is cooler. In fact, hold this.
It should say on the back, like, made in the very depths of hell, not in the very depths of Germany. No? China.
Actually, you know what it should say on the back? Eche in hell.
That's what I said. It should say from the very depths of hell, but it just says...
See, this guy I actually think is a lot cooler. And a lot more faithful to the actual figure. He doesn't have his tattoos, though, does he?
No, he's tattooless. You're going to have to speak to the art director about that one, too.
Okay, Super 7. Why is the agnostic front guy missing his tattoo on his arm? On his bicep. On his right bicep, he's supposed to have a skull.
This is what he's like when he does the Chesty artwork, too.
Oh, are these the same wings, too?
Oh, they are. Look at those. Oh, no, this gun's point these down here. I was going to say, that's very lazy.
Oh, no, they are slightly different. Yeah, okay. Alright. I'll accept it.
I'll accept it. I still give it 2 thumbs up. Both of them.
I'm doing 1.5. I'll give 2 to the AF guy. So, these are both pretty cool. I actually think they're both cooler than the Slayer and Motorhead guys, which are cool, too. But
I like the Motorhead guy.
So do I. I like the Slayer
I like the
guy.
Slayer guy, too. What's your issue with those?
I'm just saying, these are cooler. Am I allowed to have an opinion?
Are we going to get other Misfits besides Jerry figures? Are we going to get a Glenn and a Doyle?
I think, well, that just other than the Fiend or whatever you mean.
And the Jerry.
Yeah.
Remember, there's a Jerry and a glow-in-the-dark Jerry now.
Yeah.
I think there's like 10 other Jerrys at this point, too, but we don't need those. Sorry, Jerry. We're Jerry now.
One Jerry's in there.
Welcome to part 2 of the vlog number 12.
I don't see why you have to say part 2 of the vlog anyway. It's just edits. Doesn't mean it's part 2.
Well, it's part 2 because we're doing something different is actually what I meant.
Oh,
Part
well,
1 we were unboxing a toy, and part 2 we're going to answer fucking
I'm
questions.
going to answer all your nosy questions. Who asked you
What
guys
are you,
to
a
ask
cop?
questions anyway? You writing a book? You.
How are we looking at the questions?
Oh, it's this modern technology called a phone.
Ta-da!
So, let's go ahead and
Let them
beep,
pull
beep,
those
beep,
up.
beep. Like
You need
modern
some like
scientific
you need some
technology.
like Star Trek switches and gears and lights and knobs and buttons.
Did any of you have a last minute comment, question on here?
How'd they gonna know
So,
this isn't live?
I was looking at Facebook. Alright.
I was looking at Facebook.
So, now we gotta find it.
Unprepared times 2.
Well, you probably could have said, "Are you prepared? I'm gonna her."
I said we're gonna film. You said okay.
Okay. Start from the beginning, I suppose.
Okay, hit me.
Seth Feinberg asks, "What was the best and worst show Chesty ever played?" Well, Seth. I mean, I like all of our shows. You know, some are better than others. There's usually something good about every show. Kinda.
Kinda.
Does it count about shows that we didn't actually play, like the time that she got too wasted
I was
during
gonna
the
say
day?
I would probably say that was our worst show because we didn't get to.
I guess we could say that's the worst. We were supposed to open for Cheetah Chrome out in Staten Island. Hi, Phil. And she was working during the day and got wasted at the Canal Bar, sorry.
Anal bar.
And showed up and was like, couldn't stand. And somebody came and got me eventually because she was passed out in the ladies' room on the floor.
It happens.
So, actually, Cheetah Chrome canceled too. So
it was fine.
But it wasn't exactly fine. But
And then we didn't get to play a second time.
the next night was also.
So that was a double weekend
it
of the
must have
worst
been
shows
like
ever.
I don't know. I don't even like to believe in things like Mercury retrograde, but the next night we were supposed to play at the Charleston in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, and yeah, I think we've talked about this one before. So maybe
Yeah, we've
it's
talked about
boring,
this one
but
in interviews before, but not on the vlog.
long story short, they asked us to play. We didn't ask to play there. It wasn't our show per se. They asked us to find other bands. We did. A bunch of underage teenagers, because there's overage teenagers, obviously, came and got in, but we weren't working the door. It wasn't our show.
Nothing
They
to
let
do
them
with
in.
us. Yeah.
So they started complaining about that. The people running the place, and then somebody actually called the cops right when we were on stage getting ready to play.
So we didn't get to play.
So we didn't get to play.
Pretty PO'd about that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we actually talked about this in one of our other vlogs, I think. So
I don't think we talked about the Knitting Factory one.
it wasn't the Knitting Factory. It was
Not the Knitting
Charleston.
Factory, the Charleston. I'm fucking.
We never played the Knitting Factory.
I know, I meant the Charleston. I'm just saying, I think we didn't talk about it on vlog. I think we talked about it in an interview.
Oh, vlogs, I mean? But,
Like a podcast or something.
yeah, I don't know. I feel like we've told that story before. If you guys want to know, if you're like,
Ask.
wait, I don't know that story,
Round 2 of Ask Chesty.
put a comment
Then you can
below
ask.
after you hit subscribe. So that was the worst, I guess. 2 kind of worst ones. What about you? What was the best?
We've had a couple best shows. I would say this past fall, actually the last show before the end of the world that we played at Lucky 13's Saloon was probably
That was
one of our
winter. That
best
was in
shows.
February, so it's not fall.
Whatever
But
the fuck you're very specific. But anyway,
sorry, I know the seasons.
that was one of the best.
That was a good one.
Dead Boys show was one of the best. And the Poison Idea show.
Oh, that was a really good one too.
was a
Thanks,
good one.
Paul Bearer, for having us.
Paul Bear.
We got to open Poison Idea's final, supposedly ever, show at Kingsland in Greenpoint, Brooklyn, in December 29th. That was a fucking raging show, actually. That was good.
It was.
Lots of people hanging out. It was a good atmosphere too. It was a party. It was cool.
I don't know. We had a lot of. We had so many shows that like I had the best time at multiple times. So,
Yeah. It was the time that we actually played Bowery Poetry Club. It was a great show. I ended
That's a
up
great
punching
show.
a guy out of his shoes on the way out.
That was a classic. Punched him out of his sneakers.
I haven't told that one in a while, but I mean, I've told that one too.
It's a good one.
Yeah, let us know if you want to hear the me punching a guy out of his sneakers story
Yep.
from Bowery Poetry Club.
It's one of my faves.
Comment
It's a good
below.
If you want to hear it.
Sometimes I feel like we've told all these stories and blah blah blah. There they go with their stupid war stories again. I don't know. Maybe it's been a long time enough.
It's been a long time, and maybe some people have it, or people are new to this whole Chesty fucking thing, and they don't know.
But you know, I will say this. I'm pretty much always disappointed every time we play that the shows don't look like 80s hardcore
Oh, me too.
pictures of shows.
Epically disappointed.
It's come close a few times, but
It has,
there
but
should be people flying around
flipping through
the
the
entire
air.
time and stuff like that every time we play.
Sharpie t-shirts.
Yeah. So you people have been letting me down.
You're all a very large disappointment, and
You
I'm
could all
glad
do
we've
better.
had this airing of the grievances today.
Okay. Thank you, Seth. Let's see. Vladimir says, "Is pimping easy?"
No,
No.
it ain't.
Okay. Brian Salazar says, "Who designs your logos and shirts?" Well, thanks for asking, Brian, because that would be me. Yes, I design all our artwork from the logo to our flyers.
T-Bone is a great artiste. He is also an artiste for hire, and you go to anthonybegnell.com and see some of his
AnthonyBecknell.com.
work and hire him to art for you.
Whole bunch of flyers and paintings and other work that I've done on there. Record CD covers. Lots of stuff. T-shirt designs.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's me. AnthonyBegnell.com. Maybe one day I'll be like Raymond Pettibone and get millions of dollars for
That'd
my
be
punk
nice.
rock artwork.
You're being very lazy about pursuing your $1 million art career.
I don't think he did either, though. I think it just kind of happened. I don't know. John, Father John, hi, buddy. He says, "Just wanted to say hello to you both and hope all
Hi,
is well."
Father John.
Hope you are too, buddy.
Yep.
Stay on the road. Or get off the road? I think you want to stay on the road, right?
I mean, keep on trucking.
Yeah. Hopefully you don't take too many of those little white pills and leave Smokey Bear behind. And what was our favorite trucker song?
Yoo-hoo, breakaroo.
Yeah, but what was it called?
CB Savage.
Stay away from the CB Savage, unless you're into that kind of stuff.
What was it? We got
I don't know.
Smoky Bears or Bear Smokies.
That's right. Bear Smokies. This most disappointing. Manuel Reyes says most disappointing concert. What's the most disappointing concert you've ever been to? I'll answer that one, and then you can answer it too. Black Flag in 1986.
I was 3. I didn't
Their
go to
last ever tour in Pennsylvania somewhere. So it was probably a week or two before their final ever show. I walked out. It was so boring. It was bad. I was disappointed. I saw Black Flag like 7 or 8 times before that and was not disappointed.
That's pretty bad. He is a very big Black Flag guy, obviously.
This is terrible. It was that drummer. No offense to anybody, you know. I think he actually passed away. So, but he only could play one beat.
So it all was kind of the same.
Every
pace
song
and
had the exact
whatever.
same beat and tempo.
Yeah.
It was just a weird lineup. It wasn't cool. You could tell none of them were into it.
Yeah, that sucks.
There you go. There's mine. What's yours?
Shit. I've seen a lot of really fucking shitty shows. Well,
Well, it's not about seeing shitty. Obviously, everyone sings shitty bands. He's saying most disappointing, which to me would imply you went, thinking, hoping, whatever that it was. You went because
I know, I get it.
Into it. And that just wasn't good.
That might be actually, sadly, like the first 2 metal concerts I was stoked to go see as a teenager. I was super duper into the first 3 Metallica albums, and then Metallica was playing, and then all they played was Load and Reload and a couple hits.
That's
and I
pretty
was like,
disappointing.
that was kind of the worst. And I didn't even watch the whole thing, and that really fucking sucked. And then the same a couple years later, I went to see Slayer, and pretty much all they played was whatever album was out that year, which was early
God.
2000s.
Was that like Diabolos? and
yeah, it
Music
was
Man or
that
something?
new metal Slayer, and it
Yeah,
was
that's
so
terrible.
bad, and I just didn't have a good
So
time.
Slayer in the new metal phase, not a good.
It was really,
experience.
really, really bad. I actually dozed off for a period. I was like, I can't believe I'm sleeping during Slayer.
Friend
It
and
was
I
really bad.
dozed off one time when we saw Queensryche opening for Metallica in 1986,
That would be pretty boring too.
and they were so. You know what? I'm always surprised because I actually see people posting about that tour, and they're like, "Oh man, Queensryche was great." Queensryche was terrible. Queensryche was never great.
Queensryche was never good.
You're right. I mean, anyone that I don't even get
Great.
it. I don't get it. People are. I still see a lot of people posting about how great Queensryche was. They were terrible. Okay, you guy could sing, I guess, technically.
I can't even think of what they sound
Who
like.
cares?
Off the top of my head.
Yngwie Malmsteen can play guitar. Doesn't mean his music's any good.
I never understood those people who are like, I'm just gonna go see Yngwie play guitar and blow himself for 5 hours.
I mean, I guess I could see the
I don't
humor.
understand that.
Like, it's hilarious that he has 15,000 fake Marshall stacks on stage when he goes on there and plays a club as big as the ones we
Try the
play.
veal.
Yeah. Took
Dinner
waiters.
party. Yep. But anyway, I think we answered that question.
Okay. Wow. Getting strict with the questions now, huh? Well, I think we answered that one.
Why, do you have something you want to add?
Chris Jerome says, uh-oh, but he didn't actually supply a question. Chris?
I would assume there'd be a good question following an uh-oh, but
No questions. John Thomas from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania says, in regards to records, are you more of an audiophile or a collector? Do you more so own the records because you like the music, or do you collect more rarities and special releases types? Do you have multiple copies of particular records? Well, interesting question.
I would say we buy records we actually listen to.
Right. I'm
90%
definitely
or more of the time.
I collect it because it's music I want to actually listen to,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, I feel like I have a pretty good record collection. But I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I also don't. Yeah, I don't care about having multiple copies. Occasionally, if I'm like, oh, that's cool. Like a couple of years ago, I bought a smoky vinyl copy of the Stooges' first album, 50th anniversary. I don't know what anniversary it was, probably 50th. Because I was like, oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck it.
If there's like a Purdy vinyl, we'll buy
Yeah.
repeats and stuff. But yeah,
But I don't care, like, oh man, I have to. Like,
yeah.
I saw all these people, now, you know, obviously a huge Danzig fan, but
No way.
the Elvis record came out and there's been like 10 versions of the vinyl, and all these people are like, oh, I have to get it. Oh man, now I have to get this one. Like,
Yeah.
you
Well, I feel
really
like that's
don't.
just collecting in general. That's not really like even specific to record playing. I feel like those are Misfits collectors, and they must have everything. They're like Kiss fans, you know.
Yeah, I've never really.
If it's something I want it, but I don't have to have everything.
I'm stoked that we have all the Sam Hain records and some pretty rare Misfits records. A couple.
But again, we
7 inches.
listen to those.
But
too,
we
though.
listen to them, and I don't care about like, oh man. I mean, I'd be happy to have the rest of them, but I'm not like, it doesn't kill me that I don't have the rest of them in all
I'm
the
not going to pay
variations.
hundreds and hundreds of dollars to fucking
Yeah.
just
At one
to
point,
say I have them.
At one point, I actually had at least one version of every Misfits 7-inch.
And then you blow it.
Unfortunately, I sold them for rent at one point in the 90s. But I wasn't like, well, now I need to get the other variations. I didn't care about that. You know, I was like, I have. If you ever saw that Thrasher from '86 with Danzig on the cover with the Puss Head interview, which is really cool. We have it. Insert a picture. Danzig made like a checklist of all the Misfits actual releases there, and I actually checked it off in pencil. I had one copy. I actually counted Cough Cool, which is almost impossible to get an actual real copy of Cough Cool. He actually included bootlegs, because probably that means he made them
Yeah.
in the official
Bootlegs are okay
checklist.
if you make them yourself.
So
Yeah.
I had one that I had bought at Bleecker Bob's, which means that was probably one of the ones that he made, that Danzig made.
Nice.
And so I checked it off and counted that. Because I was like, there's no way you're getting a Cough Cool. That's not happening. And then when we briefly were hanging out with Damien from Sam Hain, he told us that Danzig had like shoe boxes full of old Misfits shit. He would pull it every now and then after rehearsal and be like, hey, you want a copy of this? And throw a copy of Night of the Living Dead or Cough Cool at you.
Yeah.
Oh well, we weren't there.
We weren't there. Friendship's lost. What are you going to do? sometimes you walk the night, and sometimes you send dick pics to girls. But
Yeah.
c'est la vie.
Frolicking on the beach.
If you want to hear that story again, ask us.
So, I hope that answers your question, John. I
Hi,
believe
John.
it
Thanks
does.
for watching more.
Yeah, once in a while, like I said, if I decide something's cool, I'll get more than one copy. But
I used to love when it's the only thing I did, because I guess I still listen to it, obviously, because I only strictly buy things of bands that I listen to. But when CDs were first happening, every cassette in my collection I got a CD with, and I had them like lined up cassette CD, like as a whole collection. I thought that was nifty, and now I don't have any of those anymore, because
well, I guess this one's for you.
The lovely Satanic Lorena says, "What's it like being a woman in a boys' club genre? Do you get treated fairly?" All right, we answer this a lot in interviews. I don't really consider myself a female in the male industry. I consider myself the singer of Chesty Malone in the
Good answer.
industry. And when we started the band, we've said this before, but I'll repeat myself. You know,
When we started this band, all we needed was a laugh.
Shut the fuck up. When we started this stupid fucking band with my big boobs and our logo and the name and blah blah blah, we were actually like expecting to get a lot of bullshit and whatever, but nobody really bothered me or us or anything too much. Everyone, whatever. The only thing that does suck, because I happen to be a female, is that there are people who won't even give us a chance because they're like, oh, it must be a stupid, like, I hate my boyfriend, wow, punk band, when they see a picture of a girl in a band. But it's like, if you listen to us, obviously that's not even on the spectrum of
Right.
what's happening.
Right.
So it's just, that's the only missed opportunity, is the people who won't even give us a chance just because I happen to be a girl.
Yeah. There you go. Thanks, Lorena.
Question answered. Say hi to Gary.
Yeah. Hi, Gary. Gary. Okay. John Thomas rings in again. If Yins could
It's
pick
okay.
any band from any era, who would Chesty want to do a tour with?
The Misfits, the Necros, Void,
Yeah, that's
And
pretty
Venom.
good. Black Sabbath.
and fucking,
Except us touring with Black Sabbath would have been similar to the Ramones touring with Black Sabbath, probably.
yeah.
Unless we were marketed
The
properly.
Chesty Malone and Slice 'Em Up's Venom tour would be pretty fucking
That'd be
epic,
cool.
and I would still do it today.
The Ultimate Revenge tour instead of
If we're talking about
Exodus,
bands that
yes.
still play,
Oh, so it's
even though
like-
I wish Manus and Kronos would kiss and make up, but anyway,
I don't think it's happening anytime soon.
I would tour with Venom or Venom Inc. if they asked us. Have your people call
Black Flag
our people
in 84. Nah, 82.
or
Some answers.
Plasmatics.
Metallica in 85.
Wendy O when she put out the Metal Priestess album.
Yeah, okay. Sounds good. John also wants to know ketchup, mustard, or mayonnaise. Well, all three have their
at
time and
different
place, John.
times. Yeah.
All three have their time and place. What a lot of people might not agree with, I think ketchup and mustard both belong on burgers.
Yeah, he puts
And hot
mustard on his
dogs.
burgers. I don't know how I feel about that.
Occasionally, if you really want to get wacky, you could put all three on a burger.
Yeah.
It's a little juicy.
It's true. See, I'm not a mayo fanatic. I used to love mayo when I was a kid, and now I'm like, it just seems like anytime you order it, there's just way too much. They don't put just like here's some mayo. It's like fucking.
Well, I know, yeah.
I just
It's
splooged
awful.
on your
Yeah,
sandwich.
it does suck.
They don't use mayo the way Raj in Staten Island, our deli guy, used mayo, where he made my sandwich very,
Raj
very
made special
special with the
sandwiches.
right amount of mayo.
I remember, speaking of ketchup and mustard, one time when I was 8 or 9, we had a cat named Rhonda. And I was in the yard, she was hanging out, she was an outdoor cat. And it was a year of cicadas hatching. And I was just sitting there with her. And I was actually watching a cicada climbed out from the grass onto the sidewalk. And she came over and smashed it like, pow! And the guts were like red and yellow. It looked like ketchup and mustard, like on a Burger King hamburger. Just came oozing out, red and yellow guts. And I was like, all right, Rhonda.
The same thing happened, my cat when I was a kid, decapitated a rat on the street. Phil Moore, you're my boy. And Phil Moore ripped its head off, and I was like, oh, I'm not paying attention, because I don't really pay attention. I was riding my bike, and I got stuck, and I was like, ah, and my wheel was on top of the decapitated rat, and that same kind of ooze came out of him as well.
I was going to say, I thought you said like it was going to come spraying up like. if
I
you
need
go
to,
through.
and we're back.
Hello. Chills.
Okay, who do we got next?
Jimmy Crane, Chills.
Who?
Jimmy Crane from Astoria, Queens.
Oh.
You know him.
I don't know if he was a vlog watcher.
Vlog. Okay, Heather Isler says,
Hi, Heather.
I have 2 questions. What's the best live band you both have seen? I think we already answered that, right? Or no, we did the most disappointing show?
That was the most disappointing.
All right.
Good follow-up question, Heather.
Best as opposed to worst, yeah. And have you ever met any famous musicians? Duh.
Duh.
And if so, recall the time you met them.
Okay, well, let's do Heather's question number 1 first. I think for me, in recent history, actually in all history, I think I have a pretty good list, actually, in my head of my favorite shows I've seen of all time. Kind of in no particular order, but sorta. 1, the Misfits in Jersey. The OG
great.
Misfits, which talked about the show. It was fucking with Suicidal and Harley Cro-Mags and fucking Murphy's Law. That. The Danzig Legacy show where he did Misfits, Sam Hain, and Danzig.
That was cool.
Just the Sam Hain anniversary show. That was also... Sam Hain's one of my favorite bands. I don't know. I might like the more than Misfits. Can't really say, but I fucking love Sam
I saw
Hain.
the real Sam Hain
So,
one time.
I'm not that fucking old, but cool. So, and then 4 would actually be, even though we only saw Slayer and Metallica, I guess that's all who we wanted to see. Big 4 was fucking epic. Slayer killed. So that's up there. And then
Slayer was actually, let me say this, interject. I saw Slayer in the 80s. I saw Slayer at the Felt Forum.
And I saw Slayer do new metal.
And I saw Slayer in 1990. And the best Slayer show I saw was actually Big 4. They were great.
Phenomenal.
Unfortunately, it was not
no,
him.
Jeff, that sucked, but it was fucking... that was a fucking epic show. And then number 5...
It was Lombardo.
Number 5, this was such a great, fun show, everything about it, was when Negative Approach played in Brooklyn at Southpaw.
Oh, yeah. Chris Moore played drums.
That was my top 5 of shows.
That was a good one.
That was so good. So, funny story about this show was the stupid hipster opening band that the club booked.
It made it even more
Philly.
annoying. We were supposed to, we were supposed to open the show. We kind of know some of them.
No way,
approachers.
we know them.
Yeah. And
does that mean
this answers another one of your questions there, Heather. We're kind of friends with a couple of negative approachers.
Chris played drums with us for a while, for one.
I actually called John Brannon and when they announced that NA was playing in Park Slope and asked if we could get on the gig. And
we lived in Park Slope.
I don't know, what'd you say?
Because we lived in Park Slope.
Oh.
So we got to walk there, so it was even better.
No, we actually didn't get.
Oh, you're right. We still lived in
Staten Island. It was a couple months before that.
Okay. Well,
and John didn't do the internet. I don't know if he's still probably. I guess he's on Instagram now. Mm-hmm. And he was like, "You can call him, yeah. Just let him know I said it was cool, man." I was like,
"Well, that's not really how it works, John." I was
like, "Could you just write him
for like 20 years?" That's not really how it works.
And he's like, "No, just tell him I said it was cool, man. Check it out." Yeah. So.
Thanks for nothing, John.
We hung out afterwards. He gave us beers in the green room.
Yep.
It was cool. It was a good hang.
It was.
We didn't meet Chris Moore that night yet, though. We didn't know
That's
him.
True.
But so the 2 opening bands were just some stupid like arty hipster bands from Philly. They weren't even like Brooklyn bands, New York bands. So not only did we not get to play, it was these ridiculous opening bands.
Yeah. And then, so this band that was on before NA, for some reason thought, I can't remember what song it was anymore.
It was Ready to Fight. They decided it would be awesome to do a dub version, extended like 15-minute version.
15 minutes. So it was worth it to me, an overpriced, expensive venue drinking Brooklyn, to buy a full can of beer, and I fucking threw it at the guitar player, and it hit his guitar. It was a magic... beautiful shot, 1 in a million, and I fucking made it, and it actually went like, blah, like in the fucking speakers. Yeah. And then they pretty much wound it up after that.
Yeah.
So I was proud of myself.
Got the message.
But that was that, when we talk about like an 80s show, that's what that felt like. People were flipping through the hours.
That was awesome, and then
it was fucking so much fun.
Agnostic Front Victim in Pain anniversary show.
Oh, that was a really good one too.
Was that Gowanus or Park Slope? What's the name of that place?
That was the Bell House?
The Bell House.
Yeah.
That was a great show.
Punched that girl in the face, circle pitting. She was like, "Nobody punches me," and I was like, "Except for me."
So that was another show that felt like old
yeah,
times.
That was another good one.
For me, I actually saw the real Sam Hain with Celtic Frost at the Ritz
I'm
in
very
New York
jealous
City.
about that. That's so cool.
1986, I think.
That's very cool.
That was pretty awesome. Danzig threw out a whole pile of November Coming Fire posters, and for some reason they didn't fan out. The whole pile just came right to me. And I
Mine.
swarmed with people instantly. I actually saved 2,
Yeah,
and just like I actually took the rest and threw it up in the air,
it's so funny.
and everyone scrambled and got them. And I somehow left my poster in California. I left my poster
Suck.
in San Francisco.
Our ex-good friend Damien from Sam Hain also gave us a
Unholy
really
Passion.
cool Unholy Passion poster.
So we
that
have the Initium and the Unholy Passion, and I had a November Coming Fire that we don't have anymore. I was working on a trade. Somebody got the one that had been on the wall. I remember that actually at Bleecker Bob's for years. Maybe even like since when the album came out in '86 till like
Possible.
when they closed, maybe. But we had that, and I don't know. I don't remember what happened to that
I don't remember what
trade.
happened either. I remember I was excited.
Whenever I try to do trades with people online, it just never works
Never
out.
works out.
I have some stuff. I have some extras of stuff. Like I have an extra November Coming Fire lyric poster. So I'm always like, people always want to buy it. Oh, let me buy it. Like, I don't really want. What are you gonna give me for it? For $50? I don't care about $50, really. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Trade it for something cool is what I always want to do. Maybe one day I can trade it for a van.
That'd be swell.
Interesting trades accepted, considered, whatever.
I like that we reference Seinfeld in every single vlog.
Fun. But yeah, so it's never worked out. I was trying to trade my November Coming Fire insert for that. I mean, for that poster. I don't remember what. That seemed an agreeable trade for me.
That is an agreeable
I
trade.
think I might have been working on that one when the world came down and got shut down. So maybe
I was gonna say, I
maybe
feel
I should
like
go
that was
back in my
kind of
inbox and try to find that guy.
Guy.
But anyway, that was an amazing show. Actually, DOA also played. It was when those crossover type of shows were first starting to happen, and we were like, my friends and I would like laugh because it was, on paper, it was absurd to see Celtic Frost and Sam Hain and DOA on the same bill. It's like, yeah, okay, cool. I mean, I liked all those bands, but
Yeah.
it was pretty early on.
It's like those shows at the Continental when you had like the rapper and then the electronic band and then the metal band and then the punk band.
Well, yeah, so those were all stupid bands anyway.
I know.
But
Just saying. Those kind of bills.
no, it wasn't really like that though. These were like hardcore and metal bands mixed together. It just was different crowds coming together, which is what made it weird.
Right.
And then, so I remember, and this is actually in Tom G. Warrior's book, but it was finally explained all these years later, but I remember Celtic Frost came out in like, what you'd call streetwear. They had jeans, and I remember Tom G. Warrior had like whatever that skateboard logo was that was like the Viking helmet. I think that was the closest he could get to Viking gear. And I was actually there with Kenny B, and so my buddy Kenny B, a drummer for a few years. And I remember we were like, oh, this is so cool. Celtic Frost is wearing, regular clothes instead of the Viking costumes. And turns out, years later, I read Tom G. Warrior's book, and Celtic Frost almost didn't play because they, in fact, had their Viking gear, but it didn't make it over on the plane. It got sent, when you lose your luggage.
This is
they
why
lost
they don't wear
their
Viking gear. It's just so complicated.
Well, apparently a lot of it was like H.R. Giger, like sculpture, like helmets and armor. So they had it like sent and like insured and stuff like that, and it didn't make it. So they almost weren't going to play because they didn't want to go on stage in the street gear, which is what me and my buddy thought was so awesome. Oh, look at that! They're not in their costumes because we were hardcore. We came from the hardcore world, so to us, putting on Viking costumes was a pretty silly thing to do. Even though for some reason I didn't care about Sam Hain, because actually Sam Hain, it wasn't costumes; they actually dressed like that.
Yeah. So I love that Celtic
but
Frost
wait,
story, and I always do.
wait,
But
I
what I
didn't
don't
finish it yet,
understand,
though. Hold
but
on.
let me quick. I don't understand if their luggage got lost and they
Yeah.
were like, "Fuck, we just got our clothes." They couldn't in New York City find like a leather boy store in like 20 minutes and go on a shopping spree and
you
be
didn't
ready to
listen
go
to
on
what I
stage.
just said.
I did about the HR.
They actually had
elaborate.
it was elaborate H.R. Giger constructed like
Okay.
helmets and it's like art. You know
I'm
what I mean?
saying if I was Tom G. Warrior,
Just
I'd
go
be
get
like,
random leather
rather
shit.
go.
Then
get
you just look like
fucking-
the average Judas Priest cover band from Bay Ridge. You know what I mean? You just look like a dork.
Looking at you, baby.
So apparently Chris Williamson, the Rock Hotel guy, also former Chrome Alley's manager, had to bribe them with a couple of like $1,000 in cash extra on there already guaranteed. Like, no, because they were like, we cannot go out without our Viking gear. And so he was like, oh, actually, here's $2 more grand. And they were like, we can go out without our Viking gear.
Oh, God. That's pretty funny.
So that was a good one. Saw Minor Threat once. That was also a good one.
I believe it.
You know. So I guess that's probably good for best shows.
Yeah. What was Heather's other question?
Oh, have we ever met any famous musicians? Well,
Yes.
I mean,
We've talked about people we've met in previous vlogs, Heather, but yes.
okay, so I actually haven't told my Dr. Dre story. I just posted it on Facebook once.
Hey, here's the Dr. Dre story, Heather.
So I was working at a Subway sandwich shop in Hollywood, California in 1991 at Sunset and La Brea. And fairly late one night, a guy came in with a girl. Kind of thought he looked familiar. I didn't give a shit. And made the sandwiches, and he goes, yo, you should give me those for free. And I said, why should I do that? And he said, because I'll cut you in on my first million. And I said, all right. And he said, no, really, I'm actually about to make my first million. And I looked up. Oh shit! It was Dr. Dre. I was a huge NWA fan, so I knew who he was. And in '91, he wasn't nearly as famous. '91, your mother wouldn't have known who he was. She might have known NWA. So he was like, "Yeah, no, I'll cut you in. I mean it." And I was, all right, I gave him the sandwiches. He had a date. He never.
You
cut me
owe
in.
us money, Dr. Dre.
Come on, Dr. Dre.
You
It's
owe
not
us
too
money.
late. You're a billionaire now. You've
That
crossed
is-
over into billionaire territory. You can't forget about the people who got you there that night in
needed a
Hollywood,
fucking
California.
sandwich, and he
You
came
stopped
through.
in with whatever date you had, and I came through and gave you sandwiches.
Sure, she was a lovely girl.
Yeah, but I mean, she got a free sandwich. So, come on, Dr. Dre.
Yeah.
Don't forget your boy. All right, what's next on our list of questiones? Thanks, Heather.
Thanks, Heather.
Wait, this is not the right phone.
That's my phone, dummy.
Where's my phone?
You lost your phone.
Oh, there's my phone. I haven't gotten out.
Oh my God.
Are you sitting on it?
I'm not sitting on your phone. Why would I be sitting on your phone? You just lost
Oh,
your
I'm sitting on it.
Oh my God. See what I put up with, people?
So, okay. Dan Myers. Hi, Dan. Thanks for the pictures. You're a good photog.
Ah, that's
All
the
around
photog.
nice guy.
Those are
Yeah.
very good
We
pictures.
met him at our kind of punky flea market in Lucky 13 in Brooklyn. Hi, Jeff. Hi, Melody. Hi, Frankie.
Okay.
Yo. When you come upon a new band you love, what appeals the most, the sound or the lyrics? Well, Dan, first of all, it's a good question, but I actually don't usually love any new bands.
I was about to say, when was the last time I came across a band that I love? The last band I came across that I really, really, really loved, well, I guess there's technically two. Well, one, okay. So the last band I came across that I technically loved would be Hammerlock, but that was many years ago. at
Hammerlock,
this
we love
point.
Hammerlock, but I mean, at this point, that was like 14, 15 years ago.
So I
when
haven't
we
come across
started
a band
listening
that.
to
See, this
I mean,
is a bad question.
all
It
the
makes us
bands
look
that we
like
play shows
assholes.
with, we love you all.
We do.
We do.
We do.
I'm talking about, But anyway, in terms of what you like about bands, you know what? The lyrics, I mean, that comes in place, but I love the way a band sounds playing together. That's another reason that I hate particularly modern pop music for the last like 20 something years. It's literally all fake. It's just tracks that a handful of the same producers make for everybody. Insert whichever semi-famous singer in there, and it sucks. And I like the way specific people sound playing together.
Right.
That's why it matters to me who the drummer is. And people, I remember before the Misfits reunion, have people on the message boards would be like, I don't give a fuck, it's Glenn, all I need is Glenn. I mean, like, if the Misfits actually could sound like they did on Walk Among Us, like if they somehow had Arthur Googie and
Amazing.
could sound like that would be ridiculously cool. The reunion shows are great, we've seen two of them, they're awesome, don't get me wrong. Thanks, Maurice, for MSG. But if they could actually sound like they sound on Walk Among Us, that would be insane. Because they don't sound like that.
No.
So yeah, I like the way the sound. And then lyrics, I'll give you an example of where lyrics come into place. Okay, Motley Crue, their first album, Too Fast for Love. Mm-hmm. It's cool. It sounds good, right? I like it. It's dirty. It's raw. It's pretty cool. Nice guitar sound. It's heavy. But the lyrics are so fucking dumb. Like, I really can't get into it. I can't get into it. I don't care that much. I'm not saying you have to
The
be a
music
genius.
is cool, but
You don't have to write, like, fucking poetry or necessarily, even though Danzig technically does write poetry. But the lyrics are just so stupid. I can't get into it. I try to put it on. I'm like, I don't want to listen to this. Something like, take my tail, whatever the fuck. I don't even remember. But
blow me off.
yeah, like,
See what you did there, Vince.
Vince wrote the lyrics. But
no,
yeah.
anyway.
So yeah, lyrics matter to a certain extent, but the other, they don't have to.
I thought of something new that we like that we found.
Okay, what?
The Baxter Dury.
Oh, Baxter Dury.
That's really good. He sounds just like his dad, Ian Dury.
Well, yeah, but it's totally, it's still different.
Hit me with your rhythm stick, is Ian Dury. And his son sounds just like him, but he puts out this like, I'll put in a link.
It's like electro. I guess you'd have to call it electro pop, but
it's like cool, mellow.
It's like talking like his dad, but it's not like upbeat and partying music like
French,
his dad.
some English,
and some French and some
it's
English.
Very good,
really
though.
Catchy, really cool.
If you need some like mellow jams, I highly recommend the Baxter Dury.
Baxter Dury, some good tunes.
See, we did like something else in 14 years.
And the words don't really rhyme and stuff. He just
he just kind of talks.
A story.
And then there's a catchy chorus.
The chorus in
chorus.
"I'm Not Your Dog," I think that's our favorite one of his tunes, and the chorus is in French.
Slumlord's also really good. Yeah.
The chorus in "I'm Not Your Dog" is
Je
French.
No problem,
This is not my problem, and I am not,
I'm
your,
not
dog.
your dog.
Cool. Doesn't rhyme. And then the rest of it's just
just good.
Telling a story about somebody that's shot in the stomach or something. I don't know, that's in a video.
It's good. And if you did listen to Ian Dury, you should at least check it out to hear how much he sounds like his dad, because it's really trippy. It's cool. He sounds exactly like him.
He's actually, we should insert a picture of. He's the kid on the album cover.
That's a very cool album cover.
Panties or whatever.
Yep.
We're standing next to his dad in front of the store. That's him.
I love Ian Dury. So we watched. I'm gonna regress a little bit. We watched that Ian Dury biopic that came out a couple years ago, and the guy looked astonishingly exactly like him.
That's the guy who
really
does
cool.
Gollum and the apes and stuff. He does the cool Planet of the Apes.
Oh, okay.
That's another thing, modern shit. What we sort of liked was those Planet of the Apes movies, not the Tim Burton one. That was terrible.
That was the worst movie ever.
Those
But
were
yeah,
really
those are good.
He's the dude. He actually does the real life stuff of like.
And he looks just like him, and he sounds
apes.
just like him, because it said he sang. I looked it up, and it sounds just like him.
Yeah, it was good.
But my problem with the movie was because everything I ever read and saw and thought about, I thought him and his kids, everything was cool and solid, but the movie kind of painted him out to be like the world's worst dad and blah blah blah, and the
not so
story
much
of
the
being
world's worst, but yeah,
worst
kind of
dad
dark
ever,
and stuff.
and
But
it's got dark, and I was like, I kind of always looked at him as such like a lighthearted kind of guy, you know.
If you actually read about him, it's like, yeah, it doesn't really seem like it was that bad and dark. I mean, they lived in squats and stuff, but living in squats in England in the 70s was a pretty normal thing.
But he clearly totally loved his son too. If you read his actual bio as opposed to what the movie portrayed.
Dude loved his dad too. That's how. Yeah, the movie was a little bit.
That was weird.
But it was all right. So.
Next question is from Kara.
Hello.
Thanks again for the pizza.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. If you could collaborate on a song or an album with any musician or band, who would it be?
Danzig or Kronos?
Oh, Kronos. I'd love to have Kronos on one of our albums. In terms of maybe not quite to answer your question, but if Rick Rubin could regain his producing abilities from the 80s and early 90s, I'd love to have Rick Rubin produce a Chesty Malone album.
Yeah.
But only if he could regain his talents from the 80s.
If she was alive,
and 90s.
Wendy O.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the Kronos one. That's a good one, too.
Kronos would be. Could still happen, Kronos. You're alive and well. And you're still wearing belly shirts, and I love you.
It would be cool maybe to have Greg Ginn do a guitar solo once on one of our songs. All right. Good
There's
question.
your answer.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Inside joking.
Uncle Harvey, how you doing, buddy? Asks, do Soupy and Stinky have outdoor privileges? Well, this is in reference to our cats. We have Manwich, Stinky, and Soupy are our three cats.
Manwich and Soupy made Stinky. We have the whole fam.
The other day, we posted pictures on our social media of Manwich out on the porch with us. Mm-hmm. So he's wondering if the other two go out as well. No, not yet.
I would put Soupy outside. I would
Yeah.
trust her. She's come out on the porch like this far
Yeah,
before.
Soupy's come out.
I would
not,
trust
like,
her.
on
We've
out. She would
talked
come out
about
from
like
lawn.
putting her on the lawn for a second just to give her some fresh air. We haven't done it yet though. Stinky, I would not. Stinky's still fast.
Well, Stinky also doesn't have any interest. Stinky's a little shy.
Stinky, since we moved into this house in this undisclosed location, has kind of not left our bedroom.
She
except for to
lives
eat.
on our bed, literally.
Yeah.
She comes down to eat and to go to the bathroom, and that's basically literally it. Other than
Yeah,
that,
Stinky Whizzle Teats
she's
isn't filling the new house.
in our room. Wow, she likes it. She's comfy. She's happy. She doesn't want
She's
to
not
investigate the rest of
exploring,
the kitchen.
that's
She goes upstairs, which is weird. She won't come
Oh
to the
yeah,
living
she
room.
goes upstairs. That's weird.
She won't come to the living room or the kitchen.
We have a
but
second
occasionally
floor.
She goes upstairs. It's up there.
It was big living, guys. We got a second floor.
Mm-hmm.
There's your answer, Uncle Harvey. Love you.
Hey,
Hope everyone's
you owe me a
good.
Coors Light next time I see you.
I want to eat Thai food with you.
Oh, yeah. Ryan Baron von Voita
Oh
says,
God, what do you want? Ryan?
when will Anthony Allen Begno bring back assless chaps in live shows?
I've been
Well,
asking
Ryan,
the same thing, Ryan.
considering that I've never, in fact, ever worn a pair of assless chaps at a Chesty show,
and that
I
all
would have
chaps,
to say that it's
all
not
chaps are
possible for me to
assless.
bring back what has never happened. And all chaps are assless.
Well, I think in all fairness, Ryan's in love with you, and he's just.
Ryan might be loving me. Oh, somebody had a good point on the follow-up
Fantasy.
question. Well, it depends. Because actually, if somebody's wearing the
Alright.
chaps,
Oh, that was a funny comment. I don't know who that was.
yes. Well, that was not even on this. I can't find it. Oh, and then John Thomas jumps in to tell Ryan that we, in fact, played full frontal nudity at our Pittsburgh show.
It
at
happens.
Howler's.
We don't announce it.
But yeah, you just got to get lucky sometimes. What can I tell you?
Sometimes it's full frontal. Sometimes it's full backtal.
Okay, Bactal. Kara wants to also know what are best albums versus worst albums. Band doesn't really matter. What do you mean, best Chesty albums versus worst albums, or you're talking about any band at all? Best albums versus worst
Well, she
albums.
said bands doesn't matter.
I mean,
Everything Danzig did from '97 till now
everything Danzig did from the
Disappointment.
Misfits through the first 4 Danzig albums is ridiculously
is the best
good.
album ever combined as one, and then every Danzig release from '97 onward is the worst.
Maybe
ever.
not the worst. Maybe not the best compared to his other work. Like Scotty
Circle of
had
Snakes
said,
makes me physically angry and
Right.
repulsed, and makes me want to break things. Not in the good
Okay,
fun
let
way,
me
but in
talk.
the
Like Scotty Ian said on that one VH1 thing where they were talking about worst songs or retiring worst songs of the 80s, and they had Danzig's mother on there for some reason. And Scotty Ian said, because there was a bunch of other really crappy songs. It was the 80s, like Winger was on there and all
Cool.
that stupid stuff like Poison. And he was like, maybe compared to the rest of Danzig's catalog, it's not his best, but compared to the rest of this crap, it's Beethoven.
okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, most bands have a clunker or two. No,
I mean, the first 4 Metallica albums are all great, and then everything
and then
after that is
the
terrible.
show I went to where it was Load and Reload happened. That's no good. Is that War of Satan black metal or Welcome to Hell? No, but it's still good.
Best Venom album is black metal.
Hang on. We're okay.
Best Venom album is black metal. Best SSD record is Get It Away. Best Black Flag album is Damaged. Best Misfits record, I'm going to go out and say it, is Walk Among Us.
Walk Among Us,
including
definitely.
everything ever put out under the
That's Sam
Misfits name.
Hain is November Coming Fire.
Yes. Let's see.
Best Plasmatics is Beyond the Valley of 1984.
I don't know about that. What's the one?
No Hope for the Wretched.
It's not called
New
No
Hope for the
New
Wretched.
Hope for the Wretched. That's a good one.
They're both really good, but there's a couple of my favorite songs around.
Best Metallica?
Beyond the
Toss
Valley.
up between Ride the Lightning and Master of Puppets.
I'm going Ride the Lightning.
Okay. Best Megadeth, considering it's the only one I even like, is Peace Sells. I don't like anything else they ever did.
Best Celtic Frost, Morbid Tales.
Oof, that's a really hard.
I'm going Morbid Tales.
Monotheist was fucking an amazing album.
Monotheist was amazing, but I'm going with Morbid Tales. Agree to disagree?
I like them all. Except
What
for
about
Cold
Best
Lake.
Suicidal? Lights, camera.
My favorite, Best Suicidal is
How
How Will I Laugh Tomorrow?
Yeah.
When I can't even smile today. Come on, Mike, it ain't that bad.
Yeah, you really got it bad, Mike, here. Dick.
I think that's like a graffiti thing, California graffiti cholo thing.
What other best albums?
Let's see.
Hammerlock's best album, in my opinion, is American Asshole.
Yeah.
If we're talking about newer bands.
Yeah.
Our best album, in my opinion, is Torture Rock.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I'm going to replace that with Please Chesty Don't Hurt 'Em, even though you haven't heard it yet.
It hasn't been
Because
recorded
it's
yet.
really fucking good.
We're confident in its abilities.
I think
and
it's
its
fucking really good.
performances.
What else?
Let's see.
Lunachic's best album is Pretty Ugly.
I'll have to agree with you on that one. Best L7 record is that Sub Pop. I think
Yes.
it's self-titled.
That's much better than that fucking other
It's the
one.
only one I like. There's like 3 or 4 albums.
Who else?
But,
Best Slayer album? Oh man, I'm gonna
Rain
have
of
to
Blood.
go. Okay. I can live with that.
I mean, Hello Waits is awesome.
Halloween's is really fucking
South of
good.
Heaven's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm
I was
Rain
gonna
of
say
Blood.
Halloween's, but okay, I'll agree and say Rain and Blood.
Best COC album, Animosity.
Animosity, agreed. Best Ramones album, I'm gonna say Road to Ruin.
Holy fuck. Best Ramones album.
Just drop that bomb on you. So
Leave Home, Rocket to Russia, and then The Latter Day Animal
Yeah.
Boy is an awesome album. Too Tough to Die is an awesome album.
but Road to Ruin is like, I could listen to Road to Ruin like every day and not get tired of it or like skip anything. I don't need to hear Blitzkrieg Bop or I Want to Be Sedated Again, even though I still like those songs, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Road to Ruin is just, and one of my favorite,
Actually, I don't need to hear Sedated. Who needs to hear Sedated over again?
nobody.
Yeah.
Rock and Roll High School. One of my I wish it happened in real life things, and you should reenact this for me one day. It was when Riff Randall opens her shower and Dee Dee is playing unplugged bass in her shower with the water. That is cinematic magic.
Somebody should have made a movie with Dee Dee and Ace Frehley.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Ah,
You know
pizza,
what they
Curly.
should do? They should make one of my favorite books ever, Dee Dee Ramone's Chelsea Horror Hotel, a movie.
Oh,
Someone should make that
read that
a
book
movie.
if you haven't. Dee Dee
Do it.
Ramone's Chelsea
I'll
Horror
put a
Hotel.
picture of it right. Yeah.
Yeah, read that book.
It's so
everybody.
fucking good. It's one of my favorite books of all time. It's so fucking funny. I've read it a few times.
Okay, best Black Sabbath album. With Ozzy is Volume 4.
Yeah.
With Dio.
It's Heaven and Hell.
Heaven and
It
Hell.
is Heaven
I
and
actually
Hell.
love Dehumanizer. No one has any love for Dehumanizer.
No, Dehumanizer is totally good, but Heaven and Hell, man. That's Dio's peak fucking.
Yeah, and then either one of them obviously would be Born Again, and then everything else is terrible.
Nobody asked us, but are you ready for an unpopular Jackie B opinion?
Oh God, what?
Dio Sabbath over Ozzy Sabbath
I
every
like
day
them
of the
both.
week.
Yeah, you said that. I used to
Every day of the
argue
week.
with some people about
So
that.
here,
I think they're equal. I genuinely think they're equal, and it used to piss me off people that would be like, "There's no Black Sabbath after Ozzy," which is bullshit. Because
even
the 3
that
albums,
fucking,
and then including the
Born
Heaven,
Again rules too.
the 3 albums that they made with Dio, including the 4th one, which had to be called Heaven and Hell, they're awesome albums. They're easily equal to Ozzy Sabbath.
Yeah.
Easily equal.
My problem is, so I love the songs of Ozzy Sabbath, and I love the music of Ozzy Sabbath, and they sound so evil and awesome and whatever. I hate Ozzy's voice. It's so lazy to me. I just really
I don't like any of
like
his
it.
solo
I
stuff.
don't like. I hate solo Ozzy.
Yeah.
I used to only wear a Blizzard of Oz shirt because he looks exactly like my mother on that album cover. But that's it.
With
So
the
I used to
same
piss
wig
her
makers?
off. And the same wig makers, and it looks exactly the same. So I always used to wear a Blizzard of Oz shirt, but I hate solo Ozzy, and I just think his vocals are really lazy. I don't like it. That's all. I'm talking.
You know what's funny, interesting about Ozzy though, is that he doesn't get a lot of credit, perhaps mostly rightfully so, as like a contributing songwriter, artist type of member of a band. But I was watching the extra bits, or maybe a documentary about when they made their 13 album, their final album, which I don't really like the album, but they had scenes of them jamming the songs while they were writing them, and I love stuff like that. She doesn't care, but. Ozzy was in there with a harmonica and just like singing vocal melody ideas without words, and it was actually really cool. And he actually, obviously, completely did contribute to the songs in that way. It just doesn't write words. But
Dio over Ozzy.
a lot
That's
of
just
people,
my opinion.
including you, John Spearley, like to say that all Ozzy ever did was sing the guitar melody over the guitar.
See, and I agree with John.
But it's not true. Sometimes, obviously, like, Iron Man, it is.
I also,
but not everything.
this is up there in most, this actually takes the cake for most disappointing concert I ever saw. When they did that first Black Sabbath reunion in, what was that,
That had Bill
2001
Ward,
or
at least. They had
2?
that original all four dudes.
That ruled. So, I was so excited. I, through my job, was able to be in the front row, and I was fucking stoked, and I couldn't wait, and fucking everyone came out, and Geezer came out, and fucking Tony Iommi came out, and they fucking repping, and Ozzy comes out, and there's vocals, but Ozzy is nowhere near the microphone that is posted in the
so
center of the stage. And I remember just the rest of the time being like,
Sucks.
and the guy sitting next to me like, what? This still rules. And I was like, he's not singing.
Doesn't rule if
And
he's
they were
not
like, it
actually
doesn't
singing.
matter. And I was like, it matters to me. So I just
Yeah.
had the worst time. The rest of the time I actually left like 4 songs in because I was so fucking disappointed.
Hate that.
So that, going back, is the worst, most disappointing thing I ever saw.
One time I went to see, this wasn't disappointing because I didn't go wanting to see them anyway, but one time I went with my friend Rusty.
Hi, Rusty.
And we saw Motley Crue on the Dr. Feelgood tour. And
Kill.
his mother wanted us to take his little brother to the show, so
Yeah.
he asked me to go along. That's so cool. And I think Tesla opened.
Kill.
The band is best known for their cover song of the Sound Everywhere Sad. It's always cool when you're best known for a cover. Look at you, Quiet Riot.
Oh, I still love choir. Because mental health will drive you mad.
Yeah, sure. But
Crazy!
but so we were there early because they were actually playing at an amusement park. It was very Spinal Tap-ish, even though they were
It was
huge.
like Kiss Me
It was
Through
like
Venom.
89. Motley Crue was obviously pretty ginormous in 89, but they were playing at an amusement park in Nowheresville, Pennsylvania. And so we got there during the day, and we were walking around the amusement park, and they were testing out, doing a sound check, essentially, and they were playing the fake vocals through the PA.
So stupid.
And I was like, what? Wait, what?
I'm going to backtrack on you right here. Best Kiss album. I'm going Love Gun.
Holy shit, that's Kiss.
And I fucking love Kiss. I love Kiss so
Dress
much.
to Kill.
I love Dress to Kill, but Love Gun?
See, I would go
So-
between, that kind of Bob Ezrin Kiss, I would have to go Destroyer. But I like Dress to Kill because it's the actual them playing the music. When you start getting to Dress to
Yeah.
Kill and Destroyer, which are great albums, Ace didn't play on a lot of that, if any of it. I don't even know.
What about Best Latter Day Kiss? I'd have to say
Gene Paul didn't really
Unmasked.
play either. Latter Day Kiss?
I'm saying Unmasked for Latter Day.
Unmasked is really good, actually.
Unmasked rules, and I
like
love the
Unmasked.
album art so much. It's so
Yeah,
funny.
that's really cool. And that gets shit for its album art, too, just like Born Again, Black Sabbath. That's really
so
cool.
good, yeah.
The Elder actually has like 2 good songs.
I don't hate the Elder.
Overall, it's pretty bad, but it has like 2 good songs.
I'm just a boy.
What else is Latter Day? Is Dynasty Latter Day? Not really.
I think
Kind of. They had a fake drummer and they didn't play any instruments.
I consider Latter Day after Dynasty. Dynasty is the
Okay.
in the middle of when it
Even though
becomes
Peter
Latter
Criss
Day
did
Kiss.
not play a lick on that.
Creatures of the Night has a couple good songs.
Okay, Creatures of the Night. That's pretty
But
rocking,
Unmasked
pretty
is
bad
better than
lyrically too.
Creatures of
We're not
the
talking about lyrics again.
Yeah.
Creatures of the Night's terrible, but War Machine is a great song. It's actually
War
probably
Machine is an amazing
that might be
song.
it's hard to say. It's at least
I
top
can't pick a
3
favorite Kiss
top
song.
3
We're not even
favorite Kiss
going
song. Top 3.
This it would have to be a
That
whole separate
one-
vlog if we were talking about my favorite
Top 3
Kiss
favorite
song.
Kiss songs: War Machine, Deuce, and God of Thunder.
I would have to say Black Diamond, I Stole Your Love,
Cold
and
Gin.
War Machine.
Fucking Cold Gin.
Black Diamond, I Stole Your Love, and War Machine.
Okay. Peter Criss. Huh? What about Beth? That's actually your favorite Kiss song? Tears are falling. Make no. Don't.
I know! That's one of my least favorite Kiss songs. Tears are falling. Alright, do we have any more questions?
That's it.
That was
Thanks,
it?
gang.
If you want us to
Appreciate
do
your
part
audience
2,
participation.
let us know.
Let us know if you have any other questions or requests for
Or
stories
follow-up questions.
and stuff like that. I think we're actually going to get our drummer Kyle the Carl Smile. Wait, Carl the Smile. House, I think, is going to be a guest star on our next vlog.
I hope he wears a Hawaiian shirt.
Me too.
He's gonna wear sandals though. Ugh,
We don't have to
so
show his
distracting.
feet. At least it's not winter, so he won't be wearing his ridiculous Jets puffy jacket. He has this. Okay, he's our drummer and whatever. But
Love
so
Kyle.
you remember bring it back to Seinfeld. Everything always comes back to
Gore-Tex.
Black Flag, the Misfits,
Gore-Tex.
and Seinfeld. When George had the puffy coat, he knocks everything over in the deli.
That's
and
what
all that
Kyle's Jets jacket.
stuff. Kyle has a puffy coat with a Jets, New York Jets. They don't even play in New York, Kyle. They don't even play
You're
in
from
New York.
Florida, Kyle.
Logo on the breast, and like, he ruined so many pictures. We're like,
So many
we're in
pictures.
Baltimore. We played in Baltimore in February or something, and this is a really cool picture with this creep shop that John Waters goes in. And it's this cool looking picture. I looked at it later. I was like, cool. Kyle has the Jets jacket. Cool. Kyle, get in the house, Carl.
Yeah, we renamed him Carl. But anyway,
Carl, get in the house.
vlog number 12 in the
Wait.
bag, mother.
Well,
Look, I have to work on my vlog gang sign.
vlog.
Vlog. It takes too long. Hope it looks cool.
All right,
Eat
everybody.
shit.